trailer backs up on the van, and then I'm gonna back it up there so no one steals it.
Well, okay, friends, here we are in the Alaska wilderness. That's as far as we could make it.
Yay!
With the traditional vehicles, and we had to switch over to ATVs. All the gear and the pickup and the van now is on the ATVs, and we're ready to head up the trail. We're gonna roll up that way.
Place your bids. The price is right.
About 5, 6 miles, 7 miles, I don't know, somewhere in there. It's begun. The 2024 expedition. Okay, friends, here we are. We made it to the diggings. We're gonna camp on top of this tailing pile. Looks like other people have camped here before. even a pipe sticking up. I think that means someone got a claim on it. I don't know what it means. I'm just a weekend warrior, but man, it beautiful out here. We finally made it, and there it is, Bachelor Creek, friends. We're gonna find some gold. So here we are, day one. We got here, kind of half-assed through the kitchen together. Got some bacon and taters on there. Everything's a real mess. We probably won't get any mining done today. Maybe later. I still have to go get the toolbox to put my dredge together. They're sitting over there. We couldn't fit it all. We couldn't fit it all in one load. We have to go back.
I got a tool set.
Alrighty then. Well, I still got to go get my wetsuit. So another trek out the mean trail is on the agenda today, and get all the camp set up, and maybe by tomorrow we'll be mining. So anyway, guys, we got the camp cleaned up a little bit here, and like I said, we were loaded down pretty heavy, like the four-wheelers and the buggy here. We couldn't bring everything, so now we have to go back and get the rest of our gear. It is right now 10 o'clock. Took us 3 or 4 hours to get in here last night, loaded down. Let's see. Timer starts now. Let's go. All right, at 10, we left at 10:30. It's 2:15. We made it back with the rest of the gear. A lot quicker trip than it was yesterday. We just had a few more things to grab. Well, it's been a long day. We got the camp set up. We had to go get the rest of our gear, and came back and got the dredge set up. We got it in the water, but you know, after about an hour, I got pretty tired, chilled and wet, and decided to come up, start a fire, get dried out, and get some food going. You know, part of this weekend wasn't just about the dredging, but this was going to be some wilderness cooking, gourmet. But here, let me show you something. I was so disappointed. I took my old salt and pepper shakers out of the camping kitchen because I got this matching set, and I was so proud of it. But that's not pepper. I don't have salt and pepper. It's a picture of salt and pepper. So yeah, that hurts when you were planning on some good gourmet cooking. Good morning. It's day 3 of my camping mining adventure. Like gentle breeze slapping the sides of the tent. That's how I woke up this morning. Oh, not a bad way to wake up. Well, let's see what happens today. God, these clouds are just whipping. I don't know if you can really see. They seem just. I love the movement. I'm just standing here in awe. I love this area. You know, it takes me back. There's my gear. I got all wet yesterday. But just takes me back. I mean, I think about, see the pile in the distance. I'm standing on a tailing pile. And this whole area was a mining area. And everything has been worked. But you know, you still find those spots. There's still a lot of gold here. But just the whole, everything is, even the old mining equipment is part of the scenery. And it just, to think about People 100 years ago out here working with giant steam engines. And I mean, how did they make these piles? They're huge. And this isn't even a big mining operation. Wasn't. Just contemplating this morning while I'm waiting for the coffee to heat up. So I'm just sitting here waiting for everybody else to wake up. I got the coffee hot. The grill is warmed up. As soon as people start stirring, we'll get breakfast. But while I got a few moments by myself, I thought I would tell you a story around the campfire of what I know of this area. This is in the White Mountains. It's called Bachelor Creek. And it's one of the few areas you can go and sluice, dredge, just play like a real miner. It's not claimed. It's state of Alaska land designated for recreational mining. So one of the very few places you can go without having a claim or having permission from a claim owner, or needing a whole bunch of permits. You need a fish habitat permit to dredge out here. It's the only thing you need, and that's quite easy to get. Just go down to Fish and Game and tell them what you want to do, and they'll give you a permit. So it's great. So this area, I couldn't say for sure, but it was probably prospected back in the 1890s, early 1900s, by the 20s or 30s, as most of these mines went. There was a lot of money around during those gold rush years. A lot of investors from back east, big operations in the White Mountains area. Gnome Creek's just a little further down. It's BLM and no power equipment is allowed. So this is one place you can bring a sluice, or not a sluice, but a dredge, a motorized dredge. I think it was worked commercially up into the 50s or maybe the 70s. And then after that, it became like one of the premier areas. You can see all up and down here, the campsites, the fire rings, the evidence of the small dredging operations all along the creek. Back in the 70s and 80s, they say it was like a little village out here, all the camps. And it's kind of fallen into disuse. We have, I think, one other mining operation going on right now, just upstream from us. Other than that, we've never seen anybody out here. This is my third time out here. Yeah. And I believe with the price of gold up, maybe it will become a popular spot again. Okay, guys. Yeah. So this is the, of course, a gold panning story, prospecting story, and we finally got down to doing some prospecting. Now I found this little spot here, that little rock shelf right there, and you can see the bedrock on the other side. And we know that's bedrock. It just spoke to me. And I've proved it out. Just a little bit of work I did yesterday. I even got a picker and a line of gold in the pan. So I've proven there's gold here, and now it's time to really go at it. I got 2.5, 3 days, and we're gonna do it. Oh, here's a little time lapse. The clip's pretty short. I kind of like it, so I decided to play it again at 25%. Okay, going out, start my dredge. Here I go. Oh, I plugged up. Now here I go again in a current, working my way towards the shore. Back in the current. Plugged again. Now I'm really going at it. Get close to the end of my, yeah, there. Now I'm dragging the dredge. Pulling. Yeah, and that was about it for me for the day because I got cold. Oh, good morning, everybody. Well, we took a beating yesterday with the wind and the rain. We had to move the camp table into the tent, which makes us a little more crowded in here, but not too bad. It was way better than trying to cook outside. Honestly, it didn't seem like a real heavy rain, more like a mist, but the way the wind was blowing, everything just got so, I was so pissed by evening came. Everything was wet, and no way to dry it out. We burned up a whole bunch of firewood for no reason because you couldn't get warm by the fire. The wind was so bad. That was yesterday, and we're hoping for a better day today. I got the coffee on. Just down at the creek, getting a little wash water. You know, you're out here in the wilderness, and you really don't want to be surprised by a bear. I've never come out to the field without being armed. But you know, in all these years, I've never have seen a bear. But what I do know is that I don't want to ever see a bear and close up, and I especially don't want to see one close up and be unarmed at the same time. I carry a Colt Python and a Alaska Guide chest holster that I got from Diamond D Leather, made right here in Alaska. It works well for me. I like the chest rig. It's the most versatile for what I do. It's not in my way. It's not pulling my pants down. You know, I do carry heavy iron. So there's that. I also have a 7mm Mauser, just a general all-purpose rifle, long gun, that I don't have much use for. But like I said, you know, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So we got the wash water. We got to go up to camp. I'm going to have to do some dishes before I can cook this morning. Doggone it. I really just want to be in the creek getting more gold. Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmy's Wilderness Kitchen. We're going to do a little bit of wilderness cooking this morning. Document it with the camera. It's going to be sausage and eggs. Ooh, that's hot. Okay. Tom, you're right. That's hot.
That's fucking hot.
You got to be careful because the wind will knock that down. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move the coffee over here. My sausage patty's got a little mushed. It's not to repress them.
Yeah.
We've been cooking in the wind and it hasn't been working so well, so we moved everything in the tent. Cook tent and bunkhouse. I think next season we'll have another tent for the cook tent. I would really like to have a white wall tent.
A square one.
Yeah. Film a whole meal.
You take some
Now,
kind of
the
battery.
sausage is I like the bacon because then it just greases everything up. Sausage doesn't
Yeah.
quite produce as
Sausage
much
is kind
of its own grease.
of too lean. Not enough to it.
I've had a bit of a problem here.
Might be a bit of a problem with too much heat, man. Yeah.
There's Colt making some saw music.
Yeah, it is.
I Oh, we just use it all up. I'm just gonna use it all up.
As well.
More than enough food. We don't eat it, the dogs will.
Well, they've been eating pretty good.
Yeah, they like camping.
They love the camp.
Oh, those are some massive sausage patties. Yeah, I don't think I got this in purpose. Or is it just steamed up? Probably just steamed up, guys. You're steamed up. Sorry about that. The lighting's all wrong. Oh yeah, let's see. I am not very good at making cooking videos, guys. Probably not very good at making any kind of videos, but I try. This is why I love this grill. I can cook for crew on here.
Nice and warm in here.
That's right, beautiful.
That's right, it's the cook tent.
Oh wow. Look at that. Fried onions and taters.
Yeah, so friends, after 2 days rain, we finally got smart and put up a little lean-to windbreak because wind's so bad out here. We burned up a bunch of wood and never got warm. Now we're finally warm after 2 days. I have not been this warm for 48 hours. This is great. Obviously, build yourself a lean-to, a windbreak. When you're in a freaking, what do they call this? A monsoon, freaking gale force winds. Oh my God, we've been having a hard time of it. It hasn't been real good for mining or anything else.
Seen it freaking slithering toward us. And I was little at the time, and Kim like this with the fishing pole, and it did. It was coming right towards us, and freaking slithered up right there on the bank where we were fishing, like right in between us. And freaking Kim took the fishing pole and slapped it down, and like pinned it on. It was a freaking like triangular head, like a, what the fuck you call it? Copperhead? It was like a fucking copperhead. And he's like, oh shit, and freaking pin it down with the fishing pole, and then like pulled out a little like K-bar or something, a little Bowie knife, and freaking pin it down, and then he like shoved the freaking knife like vertical right on top of his head to kill it. But then the motherfucker was still alive, and it was just like getting all pissed off, slithering and stuff. And yeah, my dad just held it down. It was like, he stabbed it straight in the center of the head, and it was still all pissed off. He did a fishing pole with a knife the whole time while smoking a cigarette. And then after he put it down and struck it, it was still being all crazy pissed off, even though like went right through its head. And then he was smoking a cigarette and it's getting down to the butt. And it was all pissed off, like hissing, and his tongue was out and stuff. But he took the cigarette and put it right on in the face, right in the fucker's mouth.
Oh, filet mignon, rack of rib, and portobello mushrooms on open fire. Happy birthday, Eskimo. Well, the sun is finally starting to come out. Still a little windy, but we've been fighting the weather all week. Pretty hard to get any dredging done when you can't get dry and warm when you get out of the water. You know, hypothermia is a real danger for all of us. Been all week. Most of our time been spent with campcraft, trying to stay warm. I have done some mining. The water's up from the rain, which is I think a good thing. You probably can't see. I am been working this shelf here. The seam goes all the way across. It's deeper over there. And I think that's because it's been worked, because I worked the deep part. And it got down pretty deep to the bedrock, but the mines weren't nearly as compacted as they are over here. And also, I didn't get near as much gold in my clean out from over there as I did over here. So now with the water up, I think I can work this all the way up into the bank. That's what I plan to do this afternoon. As much as I can stand to be in the water. And also, in order to keep from having to fight the current with my suction hose, that's actually my clean out. I'm going to have to move that closer and actually set it up kind of like a hydrant, out of the water. So there's still quite a bit of work involved. More work than I thought it would be. I am fairly inexperienced as a prospector. Weekend warrior, they say. That's an apt and fitting term. Good morning, friends. That was another little fireside chat. You know, when we first planned the trip, we were thinking fire danger. And I brought 2 bags of charcoal for cooking purposes. We haven't had much use for them because there's no fire danger. It's been raining. Weird sideways rain and wind. It doesn't really fall down, so even where you put things supposedly under shelter, they're not. So most everything's soaked wet. Last morning here, we dumped all the morning fire. Will be started with the charcoal, but we don't want to have to carry back. We're going to have to pack up today and leave. We're kind of disappointed that the weather stayed crappy the whole time. We're in the middle of an epic storm. Tested our survival skills. We weren't really prepared for this, but we adapted and overcame, I think. Okay, so here we are, ready for my fourth and final clean out. Pretty sad about that because I feel like I just got where I wanted to be, where the pay streak likely is in my limited experience. That's my best guess anyway. I mean, a dam the kids made last year and ended up being a good spot for doing my clean out. So the water's quite high now, and this seam doesn't really show up. There's nothing remarkable. But I found it last year at low water, and it was still low water when we got here. So it was immediately apparent where this was even after a year. I came back to the same spot. And back then I had only a shovel, a hand dredge, and a sluice box. We did prove out a few places of gold. At that point, did my best pan ever. But I don't know if you can see here. This actually would have been the shore when I first got here. I dug this out. Luckily, with the high water, I was able to do that under the water surface. I was not prepared, actually. See how I dug it out pretty good. There's a seam down here that I was really working hard, and until I was absolutely shivering. It was a struggle to stay in the current, and then I decided it was done, over. I had to make that decision and crawl out of the water because it takes a while to get warmed up after you've been underwater for a while. It takes a lot out of you. I wasn't prepared for that. I also wasn't prepared for the beauty of this underwater space. I can see why people like dredging. I like it. Well, anyway, let's get to this clean out and see if we did any good. Not sure I like my clean out method, so I was actually running the sluice, letting everything pour into this bucket, and I noticed there was some fines escaping over the side and look here. What I found already. I'm afraid more of that might have washed out. Ew. Okay, so at this point I've consolidated the 2 big pans that came out of my sluice box into 1 small pan, and I do the traditional thing, sit on a rock in a creek to do my first rough panning, but I was already finding chunks of gold coming up. I'm scared it's going to wash them in the creek. So moved over to the finished pan. Got a little jet dry. A couple drops of water in the 5-gallon bucket. Anyway, so that reduces the surface tension. I'll shoot the pan finer. And well, we'll see. It's a really good sign that I'm seeing gold already at this stage. I hope I haven't lost much. It also bears proof of what I've thought before. I've seen a lot more gold in the sluice and actually ends up in the bottom of the pan. My technique is getting a little better, I think, and well, it's just a learning process. I'm not one of these know-it-all miners who's just gonna tell you everything for a fact. Mostly you have to learn this by doing over and over and over again. Well, just like anything else. Kind of got a little windbreak here. I can even start up the engine and get a little heat off the exhaust, and the trick is to get the heat without getting the fumes. And I also bring my Eskimo ice fishing chair with me for this portion. This is not in the creek. This takes a while. The finished panning is pretty intense. Okay, I just wanted to point out, like I said, I needed to refine my panning technique, and I finally learned how to use these little riffles and roll the material out this way. And I'm already seeing, at this point, pretty good little bit of gold in the pan. I'm really excited. I think I'm getting better at this panning stuff. Well, friends, there you go. That's what my improved gold panning technique and my improved dredging skills. I've learned a lot this weekend, and that is enough gold to make me happy. Okay, so now that we're done, and I've had a moderate amount of success. That's probably more gold in one pan than I got in the last 3 years altogether. My process was that I did a test hole over here on this side, and that big rock right there is part of the rock shelf. Actually, no, the rock shelf is right there. You see that little whirlpool? That's where I dug down deep yesterday. But I did a test run over here, and then I did a test run over there where that riffle is, and I followed that seam across, but the test hole on that side and the test hole on this side, and I found that there was more gold on this side. And then my one production run, 3 hours in the water yesterday, was all I could stand, and that's what I got from that hole. And so I think it was actually a miniature proper mining operation with test holes and proving first and then production, and I wished I had more time. But it's been kind of rainy and stormy and awful. I'm even shivering right now. I think I'll go back and make something to eat, and then we're gonna have to pack up and leave, sadly. Broke camp, we thought this door was broke, but obviously it hasn't. It's brutal up here on the ridge. Gotta keep going. Okay, so here we are, into the trail, back to civilization, or at least to the highway, and well, we gotta load up everything into the trucks, load up the four-wheelers, and go. Right now we're all pretty cold and soaked from that ride. 2 hours and 15 minutes from camp to here. But not too bad, considering we had old Tom with us. And he's getting up there, so just that the fact that he was able to come out here and do it is amazing. So good on Tom, and we had a good week despite the weather. Thanks for watching. This is me, Kimmy, out here.